Hi there, my name's Hamera Sultan. I'm a public health consultant at Birmingham City Council and also our FPA Naturally Birmingham Director. Birmingham is the largest local authority in all of Europe, and we have over 1.1 million residents living here, all from a wide range of varied backgrounds. We also have 591 parks and green spaces. But we know that not all of our residents have got access to good quality green space, and not enough of our departments in the council make good enough use of the green space that is all around us. Being part of FPA, we really saw this as an opportunity to try and change that, and also knowing that we would have support from the National Trust, it felt like it was too good an opportunity to miss. So, what is Naturally Birmingham trying to achieve in our city? Firstly, we are hoping to embed the value of nature and green space across our key departments in Birmingham City Council. This includes employability and skills, housing, children's and health and wellbeing. We also want to use green space as a way to break down the silo working we see across some of our departments in the council, in particular using green spaces as a lever to achieve that. And finally, one of our main aims is to try and achieve environmental justice by using green spaces in nature, thereby helping those people in our society and in Birmingham that we know are suffering from poor outcomes due to social injustice. Our Naturally Birmingham programme has a huge amount of work going on, but I'll focus now just on 4 of our pilots and share with you some of the key successes that we've seen to date. So firstly, if we look at our employability and skills pilot, our original plan was to set up a physical skills showcase which would highlight all the different jobs that are possible in the green spaces sector, take the skills showcase all around the city in our various parks, schools and colleges. But of course, COVID-19 hit in March 2020 and that changed our plans considerably. What we now have is an online skills showcase on YouTube, and we now have nearly 40 videos of different individuals talking about all the different range of green space jobs that are available, why they love it, what they get from it and how they got there. It's proving really popular and it's growing every week, something that we're incredibly proud of. Our health and wellbeing pilot has also been really successful. What we've shown here is that it is possible to connect people to nature, even virtually, even during COVID-19. You'll remember there were a huge amount of people shielding and isolating themselves at the beginning of the first lockdown, and this was having massive implications in terms of people's mental health. However, the work of our pilot has shown that we can get people to connect together, for instance by growing sunflowers at home, getting them to connect over Zoom and talking about the progress that they're making. So even though they couldn't actually get together physically, they were still able to connect virtually. We've also got examples of our residents who have just become far too scared to even leave the house, even though it was safe for them to do so. But what we did was again connected them virtually over Zoom, took them through various videos of nature, so listening to birdsong or watching a guided walk through one of their local parks. And over time, we've seen those residents actually gain confidence to leave their house and get out into their local parks and green space. Our housing pilot is also going from strength to strength. Here we've very much neatly developed a set of principles and also do's and don'ts that make it really simple for developers to understand how they can really increase the green value of the houses and buildings that they develop. So we're having a really strong focus on green infrastructure, and these have been really well received so far. Also, we're keen to make sure that we don't forget about people who are living in existing housing developments. And what's been really surprising here is just how many tenants have been excited to want to work with us to really develop the communal garden space in their existing gardens, and we're currently working through that process now. And finally, the children's pilot. There's a lot that I could say here, but I'll focus on our early years experience to date. One of the things that we did was hold 2 webinars all around green spaces and how to support settings. So those looking after children under the age of 5, how to support them to connect nature to their young children that they look after. And what we also did in these webinars gave them some really simple examples of what they could do to help children experience nature. We had a local ranger coming to talk at these webinars as well, giving them examples of things to do. And what we started was a conversation of really enthusiastic early years practitioners who were all themselves exchanging ideas about what was possible. And what we've now got is we've got over 60 practitioners who have left feeling really motivated, wanting to set up growing corners or sourcing cheap onesie wetsuits to take children out in the rain, which they would never have done before, and so much more. And what's also really exciting is that our local rangers are now creating videos of activities that these staff can do to help continue the nature connection journey. So I'm just going to finish on the kind of change that we expect to see on the ground after the FKA programme is finished. One of the first things that we're really envisaging and feel confident about is that we'll have green champions across the key council departments that I've talked about. They'll be the people who really get the FKA programme, who have been on the journey with us, who can embed processes into their everyday working and also bring others in the department on board too. We've seen success with this in the early years team, and we're working on a similar process with other departments in the council too. We're also developing a governance model right now, and this will be the main lever or avenue through which we achieve environmental justice. And this is a place where we will be influencing key decisions about where we build as a city, what we build, and also how do we mitigate the loss of public open space. And finally, if I can just finish on one thing, our FKA mantra has been pretty much, let's try and see what happens. That was the approach we took in all of our pilots, and you've heard some of the fantastic results that we've seen already. And if I can just quickly show you the result of trying and see what happens when my son Isa, who's 3 years old, and I planted an acorn in a yogurt pot. This is actually what happened in 3 months later.
And so we now have a mini oak tree growing in a plant pot on our windowsill.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care everyone, bye bye.